Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Plus, but yeah, today we're gonna be doing the crown jewel results. So, not gonna lie, pretty decent show if I do say so myself. Listen, alright, I gotta say, crown jewel really made your boy feel something, you know what I'm saying? When it comes down to the spectacle of overall what they tried to say crown jewel is versus what it's been over the last couple of years, it's definitely off and on. But this year, they really hit it right on the note. Crown Jewel felt like one of those episodes of Raw or SmackDown that you really needed to feed a storyline going into a pay-per-view coming up. Like that's exactly what Crown Jewel felt like, and especially when we talk about this opening match with the whole Bloodline versus Bloodline madness. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't expecting it to go the way it was. Solo Sikoa pinned Roman Reigns clean to the mat in 2024. That's something that me and you can talk about. That's insane. Not only that, but can we just talk about the fact that everybody performed in this matchup? I mean, going into it, I knew Jacob was gonna do his thing. I knew Tama was gonna do his thing. I was a little concerned about Solo though, being in the ring with two guys like that and a guy like Tama Tonga who's getting pretty over with the crowd right now, and then going and being Solo and not really the greatest. But I feel like Solo has overall kind of changed our minds with a lot of things that we've been feeling about him in the past. Like, if you really think about it, like, Solo went from being like this most annoying character ever, not really labeled a tribal chief, and now he's like one of the funniest characters ever. Like, I'm not gonna lie, he's one of the biggest instigators when it comes down to the OG bloodline starting to form again. But this match, hands down good. The Usos came back, and even throughout the match, like, you were kind of excited to see a little bit of everybody. You were excited to see Tama versus Jay, Tama versus Jimmy, Tama versus Roman, and the same vice versa goes for every person and every combination of what and who we got. I was excited to see Solo in the ring with Jimmy. I was excited to see him in the ring with Jay again. I was excited to see him in the ring with Roman after what happened at Bad Blood. Like, a lot has so far really come out of this story, and the fact that it opened the show is so surprising. Like, a lot of people were like, oh, the Samoans are here, they're gonna main event, and I'm not gonna lie, for a long period of time I definitely thought that was the same case. What makes me happy that they're not main eventing, because Crown Jewel was all about the whole Crown Jewel championship, you know, the royalty behind the wrestling itself. So having Cody versus Gunther be one of the biggest matches ever that you're trying to market and not have it be the main event would definitely say something to the kind of star that he is. Now, something that I want to point out, if you guys remember Bad Blood, when Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes went 2-on-2 with what was it, Solo and Jacob, right? I'm pretty sure. If you notice in that matchup, in that tag team matchup, Cody came out, then Roman came out, which is weird because the champion usually holds like the main event entrance, and it really shows you the kind of like top level star somebody is when they do get that last entrance. And Roman got it over the undisputed champion and Cody Rhodes. Now, something that I want to throw out there, last night Roman and Jimmy came out, and then Jay came out. Like, that shows you, and yes, you can say, oh, crowd reaction and all that, but when the WWE does that, it shows you the kind of level of where that superstar is at, having them come out last. And right now, in WWE's eyes, they see him as a true top player next to Roman Reigns, and that is like probably the greatest feeling ever, because what I've learned over the years is even if we as a community aren't feeling the character or whatever, as long as them niggas are feeling the character, we're good, because we know that they're gonna give them the boost and what they need. Now, sometimes, like in 2015 with Roman Reigns, it doesn't really work out in the greatest, but when WWE's behind you, they really push a lot, you know? So it's like, I'm liking that. I'm liking that we're getting a lot of Jimmy spotlight back. I'm liking that we're getting a lot of Jay spotlight back. But in the end, a lot of mishaps went down, and then it ended up being Solo Sikoa who pinned Roman Reigns. Now, when I say mishaps, I mean a whole bunch of like bloodline shit went all over and happened, but what I want to point out is that in the all of it, after Tonga Loa got involved, and once it got back down to the 6 guys who were wrestling in the ring, Roman just got caught. Roman didn't get out wrestled or anything, but Roman was dealing with other shit on the outside. He should have been focused on the ring because he was the legal man, and Solo Sikoa caught his ass lacking, and Solo Sikoa walked out winner. Now, that's insane. If you ask me, Solo just pinned Roman clean. Now, again, you can Tonga Loa and all that interference and shit, but like, in the end, Roman Reigns got pinned clean. Spike, pin. It wasn't spike, pin, kick out, then he has to hold the tights and he stole the victory. Like, he pinned Roman Reigns clean, and that just shows you the level and confidence that WWE is at with Solo Sikoa right now, for him to be able to pin a guy like Roman Reigns, who we have seen him should have gotten pinned to a lot of guys in the past and didn't. You know what I'm saying? This is a guy who retired Daniel Bryan from WWE, at least. This is a guy who took Edge out. You know what I'm saying? This is a guy who did a lot of damage throughout the entire roster, and you got a guy like Solo Sikoa pinning him. That shows you that they got that confidence in Solo. We taking it all. I'm ready for it. After the matchup, chaos broke down. Roman was getting jumped and shit, and then Sami fucking Zayn comes out. Now, one thing I did notice about this, at least in the early on halves of the video or of the stream and shit, the production was a little all over the place. Like, when you're watching it, you've seen Sami Zayn's Titantrons like before the music, and like you can kind of see the crowd getting excited, but they're trying to hold back and wait that like 1.5 second for the music to hit as well. Usually it's all spot on. When you have moments like that, I feel like it needs to be spot on, because it's like you know. But Sami came out and he stood face to face with Solo, and everybody was kind of wondering like, what's gonna happen now? Is Solo gonna or Sami gonna align with Solo in the new bloodline? Which, can I just say, it would have low-key been a little interesting to see Sami and Solo kind of tangle it up over the next couple of weeks, and then eventually, maybe like on 2 weeks before Survivor Series, we end up getting like Sami turning on Solo, saying that original, like, he's always gonna align with the bloodline, or he was just taking him down from the inside. But we gotta see Raw tonight and see what happens. I seen a little bit of like spoilers on it that I'm not gonna talk too much about, but Sami bloodline heavy is something that is gonna be on tonight's show, so that's why I want to make sure I talk about all this and stuff, because Sami's gonna be the one to really point out the fact that he doesn't have to really prove his loyalty, and doing what he did last night, not fake aligning with Solo for a couple of weeks, just automatically going after Solo, going after the other bloodline and shit like that, already shows where Sami's head's at. Me and Solo had a conversation in the parking lot, not a conversation that either Jimmy or Jay have bothered to ask him about. They just seen what was going on and they just assumed for themselves. But Sami could have been walking home, because he is on Raw, and Solo could have just was going past them, and that's 9 times out of 10 what happened, and they jumped the gun, and Sami once again proved his loyalty. Now, this was interesting because it was all 4 of them in the ring. Sami had a corner, Roman had a corner, Jimmy had a corner, Jay had a corner, and it was just Solo Sikoa in the ring by himself. And Solo was looking a little scared for a second, and Sami went in for the Halula kick on Solo, but as he went in for it, Roman went in for the Superman punch. Solo ducks out of the way, and Roman's hand kind of wraps around, and Sami's foot just like clocks him right in the jaw, and Roman was down and shit, and Sami's like, fuck, like, damn, like, I didn't mean to do that, but I'm also not about to check on you. Like, I don't, like, you remember what this nigga did to us over the last couple years and shit. So, like, Sami's back, bro. Sami's back. He's ready to go. I'm ready to go. I'm super excited for this whole bloodline story, and again, the fact that it opened the show, so amazing. It's so freshening to see something like as important as that open the show. Like, this, again, this whole show was just beautiful to me. But anyway, that's what went down there. Oh, women's fatal 4-way match. So actually, they cooked. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really have much to talk about in this matchup, but if you tried to sit here and say that this was a bad matchup, you're just hating on the wrestling at this point. You either just don't like the women's wrestling, or you just don't like the tag team division. And giving what we got over the last, 3 to 4 years with the tag team division, especially on the women's side, hasn't really been something to sit here and defend, but what we seen last night was something to defend. Like, when I was looking, and that's something else about Crown Jewel too, there weren't really a lot of package promo heavy. It was just like you were kind of just commercial on like events that were coming up, and then right into the next match. And when the match card popped up for this women's fatal 4-way, I can actually sit back in my head and remember what got us to this match. This isn't a random match, or somebody was just kind of thrown in there, or this is somebody's hometown, so they're in there to get the pop. Like, there was story all throughout this. From Jakara Jackson and the other girl, from Io Sky and fucking Kairi Sane, from Piper Niven and Chelsea Green, and then from the champions themselves with Bianca and Jade. Like, there was build on all 3 brands for this one match, and I love that shit. Like, I'm not too sure if NXT got some love, but Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend, yeah, Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend, yeah, Lash Legend is a fucking beast. All right, now when people talk about grown-ass women, bro, that's a grown-ass woman, bro. Like, that's not a girl, that's a woman. Nah, jokes aside though, in all seriousness, listen, Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend, seriously good wrestlers, and I'm happy that they were given the spotlight that they were, because even if they do go back to NXT for a couple of months, like, we know who they are now. Whenever they are ready, I personally think they should just move them up now. Again, I don't really, when it comes to NXT nowadays, I feel like And especially if they're going to be heavily in the tag team women's division, I feel like you don't need to be on the main roster to do that. You can be on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and go after those titles. And as we've seen with this build, still get a good amount of build, a good amount of TV time on all three brands. Like, the way they built this story up, it was just good. Four women just wanted the titles. That was literally it. Like, it wasn't about hatred, it wasn't about this and that, just 4 women want the titles. And then when you look at the more deeper stories, like with Damage Control, seeing how far they've come, seeing that, you know, to be honest, Kairi and Asuka, or not Asuka, Kairi and Io should definitely be singles champions by now. One of them at least, but you know, we'll see what happens when it comes to that. But something I would love to see, though, something I would genuinely love to see, is I heard that there was going to be a battle royale tonight to determine Liv Morgan's next challenger. I don't know who's in it. I assume Io Sky and Kairi Sane are gonna be it. I don't know how they would do. I feel like they're building towards Io versus or not Io. They're building towards Liv versus Rhea again. I want to see Kairi Sane turn heel. Like, I want to see like maybe Io Sky win the Royal Rumble or something, and then like she just gets turned on, and now it's on some like Kairi's the bad guy, Io's the good guy, and we see them face off. Like, I can see that match one-on-one by itself taking place at WrestleMania, and I would eat that shit up night 1 or night 2. But yeah, listen, that's just me, bro. When it comes down to this women's division, the women's tag team division, they're eating good. And it sucks too, because like, so I remember, you know, I started watching wrestling like back in like 2010. Like, my mom got me into it. It was good shit. But one thing that I can definitely say is I've never really like been too much into the women's wrestling, and for a long time, like, I thought that was like on my part. I was like, damn, like maybe I just don't appreciate it. But then when I went and I started, you know, early in 2016, 17, I started getting into like New Japan, Ring of Honor, like the Star Wrestling and shit, and the Stardom, and like when I started getting into those other companies, TNA, seeing what they did with the Knockouts division, I'm like, okay, it's not the women, it's just the women of WWE. And then over the years, seeing them change it and shit into what we get now, there is serious presentation for the women on all 4 fronts. Like, there's no way, like, I'm not gonna lie, you can't sit here and tell me that for this Fatal 4-Way feud, you can't tell me that Shawn Michaels didn't have his hand in the pot, bro. Because, like, Michaels cooks with the women's division on NXT. So I just got a weird feeling that he had his hand in this one. Okay, so Bronson Reed versus Seth Rollins. Now, we knew from the jump that this was straight hands. So from the start, right, in my mind, bro, I knew this match was gonna like hit. I just didn't know it was gonna hit as good. Like, when it comes down to Bronson Reed, like, WWE isn't the only one who has like creative problems with trying to book him. I myself in universe mode have a very tough time booking Bronson Reed, but seeing the direction of where he's going, this isn't Bronson Reed, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jonah. All right, this right here, what you are seeing on a weekly basis is Jonah. This is the nigga that beat Okada. Okay, this is the nigga that I've been talking about for years. And it's like, when you get something like that, right? When you see something like Jonah, and then you see Bronson Reed, and what they were doing with him, but then where it kind of stopped, it kind of like had me on some like, they're not gonna do much with him, you know what I'm saying? That's where I was at. I felt like he was gonna be the monster of WWE that could have been. He was gonna be the monster of WWE that he could go this far, he could do these things, he can do this, he can do that, but it's all gonna be just that. It's gonna be cans, but not actually putting it into fruition. And what we've been seeing with Bronson Reed has actually been him putting in that work, putting in for it. And I fuck with that so heavy, bro. So fucking heavy, bro. Like, there's just something about that alone, like them actually letting Bronson Reed go out there and work, that's just, it makes me happy. I believe that Rollins should have lost to Bronson Reed, but I feel like Reed's gonna win the second match. Rollins beat Reed, but they also announced after the show that Rollins was going to be in a Fatal 4-Way #1 contenders match to decide who was going to be the next challenger for Gunther. I think that Rollins only won this match, and he's only in that match to set up him and Reed's next match. So I think Reed's going to cost him the title. Rollins is obviously going to want to get his lick back, because Rollins said as he was walking up the ramp, like, you come for me again, same thing's going to happen. You're getting laid out, talk mad shit. So Reed's going to come for him again, especially after that curb stomp to the steps that kind of took a chunk of Reed's eye out. Like, I thought Reed was bleeding for a second, but then his head was just like on the steps for a while, and when he picked it up, you seen a little cut, and as he was wrestling, that shit kind of tore open. Ugh, fuck, it looks so bad. But anyway, yeah, Reed's definitely gonna get his lick back. I could see that 110%. And we're gonna get Reed Rollins maybe at Survivor Series. Saturday night main event. Okay, this one. Okay, so this was the women's, the Crown Jewel Women's Championship match between Nia Jax and Liv Morgan. So let's talk about this. I don't know, maybe I was just in a really good mood yesterday, but wrestling just really hit yesterday. Like, there was no problem with this match. I mean, we knew Liv can go. For all the people who are trying to hate on Liv now, but were on the same wagon as me when Becky was champion, and we were like, let's give the title to Liv, somebody who's been working their ass off, and now that she's got it and she's on a phenomenal run that's amazing, niggas want to hate. Okay, stop hating, bro. I'm getting mad, bro, because it's like, why are y'all fucking hating? Like, literally, bro, if you guys remember, I haven't done a review in a while, but I remember when I was doing the reviews, like, last year, year before, like, all people were talking about is the fact that Liv Morgan deserves the spot next. Liv Morgan this, Liv Morgan that. She put her dues in, she put her work in, and she's champion now. She's doing shit away from Rhea now, and even that's a problem. Like, it's like, I just don't get it. I just don't understand it. You know, what happened with Rhea is absolutely unfortunate, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, this is why, and this is where the importance of building stars, so that way when your star gets taken out, you're good. There was a point in time in WWE where if Brock Lesnar was taken out as Universal Champion, there was nobody you can put the title on. Like, you had Roman, you had Samoa Joe, you had you had Braun Strowman, but out of all them niggas, and this is gonna sound so surprising to say in 2024, the only nigga that was actually built up at that point in time was Braun Strowman. That was it. 2017, 18, late 16, Braun Strowman was like the talk of the town for Raw. They tried doing shit with Samoa Joe, but he was only in like major feuds with Brock and then that SummerSlam feud, and that was it. Bro dipped out. He did more work on SmackDown, I'd say. Roman was getting shoved down everybody's throats. Nobody wanted to see Roman as champion. Even now, I can say back then, I wouldn't want to see Roman as champion. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you got the title off Brock, you didn't have anybody else, you know? Like, they built up Rollins at some point to take the title off him then, but it was like, even then, you know, like, the last time I've seen WWE in this situation, or this is for the women's division, so this is one of the first, but overall in this situation was when Seth Rollins was champion back in 2015, when he lost the title and got injured by Big Show at that house show when he first injured his knee. You had two backup champions, or three. You had Randy Orton, who was already inbred in that Shield rivalry, or the Authority rivalry. You had Dean Ambrose, you had Roman Reigns. Like, dude, you had niggas built up. At some point, they even had Dolph Ziggler rebuilt back up from his old shit. They were just doing shit, bro. They were just doing shit. Like, remember that Ziggler Triple H match? That shit made me a Ziggle believer all over again. Moving on, Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton. Now, this one was actually very, very good because, like, I know everybody always talks about, like, the dangerous guy that Kevin Owens is and stuff, and this isn't me trying to, like, take away from Kevin Owens, but, like, I genuinely didn't believe that until this match. And like, I listen, don't get me wrong, I've seen Kevin Steen matches. I know what Kevin Steen can do, the same way I know what El Generico can do, but what Sami Zayn can't. You know, like, I know what Steen can do, but being under the WWE brass and under the WWE wing for so long, being under the Vince McMahon administration where you weren't allowed to do so much shit, I would assume that a lot of that shit's kind of just like faded from Kevin's head. He's a family man now, he's doing his thing, he's good. But the only problem is that never went anywhere. Like, bro killed Randy Orton tonight. Like, Randy tried, Randy put some work in, but Randy died. Like, this was the nigga that Triple H was trying to protect Randy from. I'm just saying, bro. But hey, this is one of the most, like, Facebook post scenarios ever. Like, it was like, I remember seeing that shit when I was younger, and it was like, what happens when Randy Orton finally realized that he's the legend, he has to kill himself. Like, but in this situation, Randy Orton is the legend, but he's gone. He's going. You know what I'm saying? Like, Owens is that nigga. Owens is low-key the new legend killer. Like, Stone Cold, Orton. Like, I'm just saying, Owens is doing it. But these niggas were kept going after the match. They kept brawling. They kept fighting. Adam Pearce got hit with an RKO. This nigga all this dipped. He said, nah, I gotta deal with him every week. You could hit that RKO. So, listen, it was a good match, but the match never got started. And I love that about this. Like, you know how you'll see a match that never gets started, but it'll only be like, they'll attack each other, like, because I'm pretty sure when Orton was taking it all in from the crowd and shit, because this was the loudest crowd for Orton's, like, entrance. Like, they were singing, but when they were singing it, Owens hit him with a chair and shit. The match never actually got started, though. And they brawled all over the arena for a good 10-15 minutes. Like, it was a match length, but not a match. And I love shit like that. Like, just because, like, you decide to have somebody come out and attack them just like that. Old WWE, Owens would have hit him with a chair twice. We would have went on to the next segment. You know, like, they're actually, like, putting work in, and I fuck with that, you know? What else, though? What else? Oh, okay. triple threat match between LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes, and Andrade Cien Almas. All right, listen. I know it's El Idolo, but he's always going to be Almas in my heart, okay? Listen, this match right here cooked the way it needed to, brother. This match went crazy, okay? Andrade, we know this nigga hoops. Carmelo, we know this nigga hoops. LA Knight, we know this nigga hoops, bro. Like, this was 3 hoopers, bro, just putting their best work in. I'm pretty sure this nigga was going for the first 48, Carmelo Hayes, and then, like, he caught, as he had him lined up for the 48, like LA Knight caught his head, and as he went down for his move on Almas, Knight smashed his head into the ground with the blunt force trauma, and that's how Knight won. That was clean. That was really fucking clean, bro. Like, these niggas really hooped, bro. Like, I want to see more of these guys going at it. And every single time I see LA Knight in the ring, he just proves more and more and more why he is him. Why he's the champion. Why he deserved this reign after being hungry all last year. Like, what they're doing with LA Knight, I thought going into this could have been more, but coming out of it, it was just enough. You know, like, I feel like it's been such a long time since we've seen 2 niggas go at it for the right to face the champion and show how prestigious that championship is by just letting them fight for that right. You know, like, this whole 7 series between Carmelo and Andrade was for the right to see who was gonna go against LA Knight at some point. At first it was to see who's him. You know, it was about hate and shit. Now it's about the championship. This is all surrounding LA. This makes LA Knight look so good because it's like you got these niggas putting everything on the line just to face you. And then you come in the picture and shut both these niggas up. You're him. Like, I can't put it in no better words, bro. Like, how they did this was just so perfect, yo. But that match was that. We get to the main event, champion versus champion, Cody Rhodes versus Gunther. Now, this matchup, nothing crazy happened in this matchup. It was a straight, clean, one-on-one classic. Now, for a lot of this matchup, Cody got the shit beat out of him. They kind of spoiled it because in the beginning, right before the main event, they showed, like, who would be backstage for the press conference after the show, and you seen Cody with both belts, so that kind of sucked. But it was a good match. Gunther should have won. Either Gunther should have won or he only should have lost because, like, Goldberg was in the crowd, and then that'll build towards their match or something. Because I heard the rumor right now is Gunther versus CM Punk at Survivor Series, which is interesting because I know a certain somebody who won that triple threat match. I'm not a fan of them winning that match. I don't even think they should have been in the match, but they won it. So, or not the triple threat, the fatal 4-way for tonight. So enough of that anyway. But that's Gunther's next challenger. But I'm trying to see if they do something in the next couple of weeks with that match, and then we get into Punk and Gunther for just 2 weeks instead of 4. I don't know. I'm looking forward to that. Gunther should have won though. I'm always gonna stand on that unless again Goldberg came out and either put his hands on Gunther or in the crowd, and that gave Cody the advantage to get the crossroads. Then there was no reason for Gunther to lose the way he did. I mean, the way Cody did it, Cody stole the victory. Gunther was beating the shit out of Cody, and Cody like got him in like a package pin, I'm pretty sure. Or just had his shoulders down, putting all his body weight on him. It wasn't some like crossroads 1, 2, 3 clean pin. Cody escaped. That's who we want on Crown Jewel champion to be, somebody who just escaped. Cody's stock is fine. Like, he's gonna be good regardless, you know. So it's like, I don't know. I don't like that. I'm gonna be honest. I really thought that this main event was gonna be given to Gunther. And in my mind, Gunther would have had the Crown Jewel title. He would have had Goldberg under his record and maybe 2 more legends by WrestleMania, you know, to get ready for Cena. It just doesn't make it easy. And then they try to do the whole him losing with like the package pin or whatever, makes him look like the victory was just like stolen. But it's like, I don't remember, but the last time Gunther got pinned was like Mania, right? No? I don't know. Just my opinion. Good show. Good main event. Don't get me wrong. Cody and Gunther put their work in. They did their thing. He's a great champion. He's not my Crown Jewel champion. But I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. This was a pretty long one. Pause. But it was definitely worth it because there was a lot of shit I wanted to talk about. This was a really good show, honestly. I wanted to do the full live reactions, but I had a family event yesterday, so I didn't end up doing it. But I did watch it, and then I went back and rewatched it this morning, the entire show, just so I can get like the full breakdown. But yeah, I love you guys so much. If you guys want to go check out the Call of Duty channel, you definitely can. Universe mode content is coming your way. I've just been very busy with work. If you watch my recent Call of Duty video, you'll see what exactly is going on with my work and stuff, and just why I haven't had 2-3 hours to sit down and just make videos and shit. So love you guys. I'm gonna be more consistent over here though. I'm gonna try to bring you guys some side series and stuff just for the time being, and yeah, peace.